1,000 years ago, in the heart of the Islamic world, a new empire rose, not one defined by the sword, but by the pen. This was the Fatimid Caliphate, a Shia Muslim dynasty that believed in the power of ideas, education, and knowledge. At a time when Europe was still in the early Middle Ages, the Fatimids built a state where books were treasured more than weapons, and scholars were honored more than warriors. In 969 CE, the Fatimids entered Egypt and founded their capital, a city they named Al-Qahira, or Cairo. It wasn't just a new political center. It was meant to be a city of light, where scholarship and faith could grow side by side. In the very next year, 970 CE, they began constructing a mosque that would become legendary, Al-Azhar. But this mosque was different. It was not just a place for prayer, it would become the intellectual heart of the Fatimid Empire. By 988 CE, Al-Azhar Mosque had transformed into Al-Azhar University, a formal place of higher learning. This made it the oldest continuously operating university in the world, even older than Oxford or the Sorbonne. Here, the Fatimids planted the seeds of a revolution, an educational system unlike anything seen before. Under Fatimid rule, education was free and widely accessible. The state paid salaries to teachers and supported students. Even those from poor families could attend, with food and housing provided. Learning was not a privilege for the elite. It was a right for all. Classes were held in the open courtyards and halls of Al-Azhar, where students sat in circles around scholars, discussing complex topics and asking questions freely. The teaching method was personal and deep. When a student mastered a subject, the scholar would grant them an ijazah, a formal certificate, allowing them to teach the subject themselves. This was the beginning of a formal academic chain of knowledge, built on trust and intellectual merit. The curriculum at Al-Azhar reflected the Fatimid sept, open-minded and forward-thinking nature. Students studied not only Islamic theology, correspondenic sciences, and hadith, but also subjects like logic and philosophy, mathematics and astronomy, medicine and anatomy, grammar, rhetoric, and law. This blend of religious and scientific subjects created scholars who were both spiritual and intellectually curious, something that would shape Islamic civilization for centuries. But the Fatimid passion for learning didn't stop at Al-Azhar. In 1005 CE, they established another groundbreaking institution, the Dar al-Ilm, or the House of Knowledge. Located in Cairo, Dar al-Ilm was both a library and a research institute. It housed thousands of manuscripts from ancient Greek, Persian, Indian, and Islamic sources, and welcomed scholars of all backgrounds, including Muslims, Christians, and Jews. It was open to the public. Any individual, rich or poor, Muslim or non-Muslim, could walk in, read, and learn. This was centuries before Europe had anything similar. Thanks to these reforms, Cairo became a magnet for scholars from across the Islamic world. Its libraries, debates, and open intellectual environment turned the city into one of the most important academic centers of the medieval era. The Fatimids promoted a spirit of tolerance and curiosity. Even though they were Ismaili Muslims, they allowed Sunni scholars to teach and learn freely. They believed that truth could be approached through reason, and that every field of knowledge, sacred or secular, had value. Though the Fatimid Caliphate ended in 1171, their educational legacy lived on. Al-Azhar University remained, evolving under new rulers and new times, but holding on to the original Fatimid vision. A place where knowledge is free, learning is sacred, and education is the key to understanding the world.